As we reach this third full week of July, as far as the astrology goes, we had quite the opening with a sequence of all of the generational planets being activated by Jupiter, who's newly in Leo. And this comes after last week when the Cancer new moon renewed our emotional foundation, while the Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto harmonies had started already began opening the road ahead. So I feel that this week truly represents the turning point of the month. The emotional preparation of Cancer season, it's beginning to give way to the visible participation of Leo season. Yet, the astrology of this week is also going to be reminding us that authentic confidence isn't simply about enthusiasm or visibility. It has to remain connected to purpose, responsibility, and service. So, as we begin, welcome. This is Oness Astrology, and my name is Mariana, and I provide a bit of a unique spin on astrology where I'm looking at the collective cosmic energies and kind of framing the forecast for individual empowerment that ultimately serves the collective good. So, if that's kind of your jam, go ahead and like, subscribe. I'd love to have you back sometime. And feel free to share it with anybody who you think might benefit from this kind of framing. This is your weekly astrology forecast for July 20th through the 26th of 2026. And I feel that this week's theme is about stepping fully into the light. And that's because authentic expression really becomes meaningful when it begins contributing to something that's larger than ourselves. Now, as I mentioned, this week started off with a bang yesterday, Monday, July 20th. We saw all of these different things happening with Jupiter triggering the outer planets. So I'll touch on those one at a time so we can kind of get their unique flavor, and then we'll explore how they might be working together. Excuse me. So first off, starting the kind of energy was Jupiter in Leo trining Neptune in Aries. And this had the week opening up with a feeling of inspiration. Jupiter expands confidence, possibility, generosity, and vision, whereas Neptune is deepening imagination and our intuition, as well as our sense of spiritual purpose. So together, they were creating one of the week's most hopeful alignments. Our dreams maybe felt bigger. Creativity could have flowed more naturally. Our vision might have felt easier to trust. And it was excellent energy for really creating, imagining, teaching, sharing, and reconnecting with purpose. But remember, inspiration is only the beginning. And that's where our second aspect comes in. We saw Jupiter in Leo also opposing Pluto in Aquarius. Now, immediately after that expansion of the Jupiter-Neptune connection, we feel discernment coming in with this Pluto aspect. And it's asking us, what will you do with the influence, right? So Leo and Jupiter here is highlighting this, celebrates authentic individuality, whereas Aquarius, which is the energy Pluto is bringing into the mix, is reminding us that individual gifts exist within community. So this specific aspect or conversation seems to be asking us to notice where our ambition and our contribution intersect. It's not about making ourselves smaller. It's about recognizing that leadership carries inherent responsibility. And I think this is where July's larger lesson is starting to become very clear, because it's showing us how authentic expression is participation, not performance. Now, coming into today, we see our first quarter moon in Libra. And every first quarter moon is asking for action. And having it in Libra, this is about that action remaining relational. And so the Cancer new moon last week kind of planted some emotional intentions. And at this point, those intentions may start to encounter real connection, real people, and what happens there in partnership, in collaboration, in communication. What does balance and harmony look like when it's not just about us and we start to interact with the other? Because truly, progress rarely happens without some sort of cooperation. None of us are an island. None of us truly exist in isolation. So I think this moon coming in is asking us what relationships truly support where I'm going. And also today we see the other generational planet Uranus, who's newly in Gemini, getting activated by Jupiter in Leo as well. And this is through a sextile, so it does have that harmonious energy, but it is more of an opportunity. It's not a trine where we feel the elemental harmony regardless of whether we are participating consciously or not. The sextile is like, hey, there is a chance for you to do something here if you're paying attention. So I do think this is one of the most exciting aspects of the month if we are going to work with it, because as Jupiter expands, Uranus is innovating and Leo is creating and Gemini is experimenting. So the new opportunities could really start to appear unexpectedly. There could be fresh conversations. We could see new technology, new audiences, new perspectives. And I think we're really being invited to stay curious about this. It's a wonderful energy for creative risk taking, and this is another area where our authenticity is going to be what's opening doors for us. Now, all of these Jupiter outer planet aspects, because these outer planets and their orbits move so slow, and Jupiter also doesn't have a very quick orbit compared to the personal planets, it is a social planet. So these energies might linger. Allow yourself to integrate and let it in as Leo season begins. Which brings me to Wednesday, tomorrow, July 22nd, when we do have Sun entering Leo, starting off our beautiful season of our glorious regal lion. And this is going to invite emotional integration of Cancer season to find anchoring in action so that those lessons that we've learned about nourishment and nurturing, it doesn't disappear as we move forward. It becomes the fuel. And Leo is going to ask us, how will you express everything that you've learned? And keep in mind, healthy Leo energy is not ego. It is wholehearted participation. It is creativity, joy, leadership, that authentic self-expression that we have been talking about all month. And this is also when July truly starts visibly changing as far as the astrological climate. By Thursday, the 23rd, we're going to see the sun newly in Leo. Sorry, my cat was walking outside. I didn't know what it was. Anyway, the sun, of course, brand new in Leo, is going to be squaring with Chiron in Taurus, who has also not been in that sign for very long at all. They aren't even at the first degree. And so this is an initiation energy. This is something that is starting a cycle. And it's going to bring some greater visibility into maybe this area of old wounds that Chiron and Taurus might be representing for us. If you want to make this more personal, I would look at where Taurus is in your chart. To do that, you would have your ascending sign as the first house, and then you count out from there, given whatever your ascending sign is, until you get to the house that Taurus represents. And you can look into that to see maybe if some of the wounding is relatable to you in specific, if you want to work on that in a more individual way. Now, it's important as we do this to remember that Chiron, it's about growth, and our vulnerability often works in tandem with that. We might also see questions about our worthiness resurfacing at this point. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the discomfort is misalignment. Sometimes healing can simply mean continuing through the discomfort anyway. Our authentic confidence again, is going to develop through that participation, not perfection. Also, on Thursday, we have Mercury finally stationing direct in Cancer. So the last few weeks, all of July, we have been in this reflective energy, and now we have this turning point, and the emotional reflection of the recent weeks can begin becoming practical understanding. So our conversations are likely to gain more clarity, decisions could begin moving forward with more ease, the pieces just start fitting together. And Mercury direct doesn't negate what we've learned during the retrograde period, but it will ask us to begin living it. And this is a beautiful bridge between Cancer season and Leo season, because that emotional truth we've been nurturing and tapping into and becoming more sensitive to is now going to start becoming that outward direction that helps to guide and lead not only us, but through us. Now, we do have a bit of a break on Friday, so we'll be able to kind of let all of that integrate. And then on Saturday, the 25th, we see Neptune in Aries sextiling Pluto in Aquarius. So again, this is harmonious energy, but it is more invitational. If we're paying attention, it presents an opportunity. And this represents important outer planet harmony. It's continuing the larger collective story that we've really been watching all month about vision, transformation, imagination, and how that influences system change. So while this might feel more subtle on a personal level, it's here to remind us that our own evolution is unfolding alongside the broader cultural evolution, and is helping us to ask once again, how does our authentic expression contribute to the larger good or the larger whole? Then on Sunday, rounding out the week, we see Saturn stationing retrograde in Aries. Now, this is gonna slow us down. It won't stop our progress, but it will deepen it. This is asking for leadership, responsibility, boundaries, healthy boundaries, and long-term commitments. It wants us to know what we know and know what's important to us, and to have that be the nexus of how we make our decisions and move through the world, and that source of discipline and devotion for us. So all of these subjects could come up for review, as Saturn is really going to ask, what deserves your sustained effort? Really, truly. And again, the only wrong answer here is an answer that's not authentic. So take the time to go within. And Saturn retrograde is going to be around for a few months. So we've got the classroom. You don't have to figure it out right away. Also on Sunday, we see another big shift with the true node moving into Aquarius. So this is shifting our eclipse axis, and it kind of also shifts the collective evolutionary story. Aquarius is going to be emphasizing innovation and community and collaboration, future-oriented thinking. So it really fits into July's larger message, but it's taking it to a whole other level, where it's showing us how authentic individuality and collective contribution are not opposites. They strengthen one another. So truly, as the month continues, we'll really start to begin seeing this energy culminate beneath the Aquarius full moon next week. So I'll be sure to give you some more juicy tidbits at that point in time. But really, as this week is closing out, I feel like it represents the heart of July, where our inspiration begins to expand as Leo season begins and Mercury starts finally moving forward again. And at the same time, we will feel that responsibility deepen as Saturn turns retrograde. And as the true node moves into Aquarius, that collective future vision will come into a little bit more refined view. We've moved beyond preparing at this point for that authentic expression, and now we are being asked to live it. Next week, the Sun, Jupiter, Pluto, Uranus, Venus, Mars, and the Aquarius full moon are going to bring the month's entire journey to its culmination. Until then, though, I hope that you remember your gifts become most powerful when they are shared with purpose. Thank you for joining me as I attempt to share some of my gifts with you with the purpose of encouraging and re-empowering. Again, if you like what I do, please like and subscribe. I'd also love to hear about how this is affecting you. So if you'd like, drop a comment. You can also learn more about everything that I have to offer in the description box below. I have a website with a lot of free resources, a free astrological app that looks at the world a bit differently and helps you to apply the Northwestern Hemisphere astrology that we've grown up with and that has permeated culture to other areas around the world, because there is a logic. It's about light and dark balance, and that's the cosmology that my app, The Onescent Dial, is based on. So if you're curious about any of that, check out the description box. Thank you again for being here. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful week.